You know when you see a perfectly designed room and you think, what is that one thing that just pulls it all together? Well, a lot of the time, it's not some crazy expensive piece of art. It's something living, something sculptural, and, get this, something with a surprisingly wild past. So yeah, let's talk about the orchid.
I know. It's so easy to see an orchid at the supermarket and just think, oh, another houseplant. But you would not believe the history behind these flowers. We're talking a full-on global frenzy where people were sent on these incredibly dangerous trips to the ends of the earth just to hunt for a new, rare specimen. And this obsession, it got so intense that it actually earned its own name, orchid mania. Seriously. For the super wealthy Victorians, having a collection of exotic orchids was the ultimate status symbol. It was like having a garage full of supercars today. People were building these massive glass houses just to show them off.
So how did we get from these impossible-to-find jungle flowers to something you can pick up with your groceries? Well, a few really key things happened. First, you had plant hunters, guys like Thomas Lobb, who literally risked their lives on these journeys. Then, and this is a huge one, in 1845, a tax on glass was abolished. Before that, building a big glass conservatory was insanely expensive. Suddenly, it was affordable. And you can see that ambition in things like the Crystal Palace in 1851. By 1856, they'd even cracked the code on how to hybridize them, which just opened up a whole new world.
So all of that history, the rarity, the danger, the elegance, it's all kind of baked into what an orchid is. And that's exactly why high-end designers still reach for them today. When you put an orchid in a room, you're not just adding a plant, you're adding all of that sophisticated living history right into your space.
Okay, so cool story, right? But besides just looking amazing, why should you actually bring an orchid into your home? Well, as it turns out, the benefits go way beyond just looking good on your coffee table.
This isn't just about feeling good. There's some real science here. I mean, we know having flowers around can lower stress, but orchids are next level. Some types, like the Dendrobium, are known to actually pull nasty airborne solvents like xylene right out of the air. And get this, some orchids release oxygen at night, which can actually help you sleep better. So yeah, it's a beautiful and functional addition, especially for a bedroom.
And if that wasn't enough, you can even use an orchid to send a very specific message. The color you pick isn't just about what matches your decor. Each one has its own distinct meaning.
So you can totally tailor the vibe you're going for. White is all about that pure, elegant look. Pink gives you a softer touch of happiness. Purple has always been tied to royalty, so it screams admiration and dignity. Yellow is fantastic for friendship and new starts, while orange brings this bold, enthusiastic pop of energy. And green? In some cultures, it's all about good fortune and health.
Okay, so you're sold on the why. Let's get to the how. The real key here is to stop thinking of an orchid as just a plant. Start seeing it for what it is, a piece of living, breathing, sculptural art.
If you really want to make it a showstopper, let it stand alone. An orchid has such clean, graceful lines that it doesn't need a bunch of clutter around it. Just pop it somewhere, everyone will see it, give it a simple, chic pot, and then just step back and let the flower do all the work.
Want to make that orchid really pop? The secret is a classic design trick, contrast. It is hands down the easiest way to add a little bit of drama to a room.
You can play with this in two main ways. For color, just imagine a bright pink orchid sitting against a deep, moody, navy blue wall, right? Instant drama. Or think about texture. Picture an industrial loft with lots of rough concrete and exposed brick. You put a delicate, perfect orchid in there, and the contrast just softens the whole entire space. It's stunning.
And please, don't feel like you have to stick to the usual spots. Some of the absolute best places to put an orchid are the ones you might not even think of at first. Remember, these are tropical plants. They absolutely love humidity. You know what that means? Your bathroom is basically a 5-star resort for an orchid. The steam from the shower creates this perfect little microclimate. Seriously, putting one on a windowsill in there can turn a boring bathroom into this tranquil, spa-like escape.
All right, I know what some of you are thinking. This is all great, but I'm just going to kill it. Okay, let's just tackle that fear right now. We're going to find the right orchid for you. First off, just remember this number. There are over 30,000 different species of orchids. 30,000. It's one of the biggest plant families on the planet. Trust me, there's an orchid out there that is perfect for your home and your skill level.
So for anyone just starting out, the best place to begin is with one of these two. The Phalaenopsis, also called the Moth Orchid, that's the one you see everywhere, is by far the easiest. It's super forgiving, and its flowers last for months. The Dendrobium is a great second step. It's a little bolder, likes a bit more light, but it's still totally manageable for a normal home.
All right, you've picked out your orchid, you've found the perfect spot for it. Now let's just demystify the care part, okay? A few simple rules are all you need to keep it thriving.
It honestly just comes down to these 4 things. Light, you want it bright but not direct sun, which will totally scorch the leaves. Water, this is the #1 mistake people make. They overwater. Just water it every 7 to 10 days and let it almost dry out in between. Humidity, a little misting every few days helps. And food, a little orchid fertilizer once a month when it's growing is all it needs. That's it. It's way simpler than you think.
So you see, an orchid is so much more than just a plant. It's a piece of history, it's a little wellness tool, and it's a statement of pure elegance. It is such a simple way to elevate your space and bring a living, breathing work of art right into your home. So I guess the only question left is, which room are you going to transform first?